Welcome to the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite makes the process of becoming a published, best-selling author as simple as sipping your morning cup of coffee. You can learn more about Authors Unite at authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today, I have Sue Melke with us. She is recognized by leading experts in the entertainment and corporate arenas as one of the most forward-thinking branding minds in the country. She has worked with hundreds of brands, including Coca Cola, AMEX, and Beyonce, to name a few. So welcome to the show.
Oh, hey, how you doing, Tyler? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. Awesome to have you. And how are you?
Very well, thank you. It's kind of a bit chilly in Salt Lake. Heading down to the convention center to meet some people, and thought I'd have a nice chat with you before I head out, but it's freezing outside.
Yes, I will tell you, I cannot relate. It is very warm in Miami.
Good on you.
So,
Swap.
So we'll dive in. Sue, the first one that I have for you is what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Well, the best story in my life, it's all about moments and minutes, and, time is a dictator. And sometimes it all comes down to a second, just like that movie Sliding Doors. I don't know if you've seen it, but sometimes choices have to be made for you because you don't make them yourself and they're out of your control. So 30 years ago, I was in a very bad car accident, and I weigh out the pros and cons of that. And boy, it was an ethereal experience. It was unbelievable, and I won't go into the details of it, but let's just say it had an incredible impact on me. I didn't realize it at the time, but that was the best night of my life, because the next day I quit my job, I started my own business, and I've worked for myself ever since. And I couldn't continue meandering through life working a cushy job. It was a fantastic, great job, but I wasn't getting anything out of it. I wasn't testing myself. I wasn't pushing myself to be the best that I could be. So that's what I think is the best thing that's happened to me. And I'm so grateful for that night.
And what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
We need to learn to have the ability to distance yourself from a product. In my industry of branding, you have to be able to distance yourself from the product so that you can look at it objectively. I know it sounds weird that you kind of don't connect to it, but you do. But you have to look at it from the messaging to a consumer. So the customer has to be the eyes and ears, and that's the person who has to take on the message. So if you put yourself in the customer's shoes and thinking about what would sway their attention or convince them or have them try a product, that's really important, because too many people let their egos get in the way and think they know the answer to everything. But sometimes it's best that you, remember that the product is the king, and sometimes we have to get off the throne, to recuse ourselves from it.
I love that. And could tie in, but what's your best piece of overall business advice? You're not necessarily industry specific.
You have to have passion for what you do, especially as an entrepreneur. I'm a humanitarian at heart, so I always find ways to merge my passion with my business, and that way I can give 1,000% of me to the project, and I'm doing what I can for the world and humanitarian aid and so forth.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
I would watch my health a little better. I would continue to exercise and not have to start up again right now, and I would probably have not allowed myself to sit behind a computer so much, because I would have insisted on creating more equilibrium in my life and have a bit more fun on the way.
And in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
Pretty much what I just said, a good mix of work and play, but my life has to be fueled by passion. If I don't have passion, I don't feel alive. So I've got to make sure that I'm doing something that I love. And obviously having friends and family and good health, following your dreams, whatever they may be. I mean, that's all the key to happiness, I think.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
It's a tough question. I'm really into biographies and true stories. But I did read Shonda Rhimes' The Year of Yes, and I think she's remarkable. And I think there's a lot to say about stepping outside your comfort zone and stepping into your power, not just as a woman, but as a soul on the planet, to stretch yourself as far as you can be stretched so that you can further your journey in this lifetime. I mean, what I learned from it was it reminded me to learn to say yes to the opportunities and not to be lackadaisical.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
My favorite quote is actually a quote from Dr. Seuss. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
Yeah, I love that one too.
Yeah, it's cool. And the reason I do that is because I'm stepping out into my power. And earlier this year, I declared my personal Bill of Rights as part of the I Am a Superwoman campaign. And for too many years, I've lived to please others. And that's changed now. I now speak my mind, like me or hate me, but I am authentic. And that's really important.
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. The last one I have for you before we let you go is, where is the best place for people to find you online?
Oh, okay. Melke Branding. It's MELKE Branding. And I'm on Twitter and I'm on Facebook. Or you can visit my website, melkebranding.com.
Perfect. Thanks again for jumping on.
Thank you, Tyler. Have a fantastic day.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.